Yo guys, this is Reinhart. It's your favorite Russian with a broken English and some common sense, my friends. And today we're gonna talk about some pretty fucked up shit. So, the article, I'm gonna read you a little bit of an article, but pretty much what I'm gonna be talking about is the name of this description. Liberal activist is brutally raped in Haiti by a black man, turns around and blames white man. So, in Russia we have a saying, you found adventures on your ass. Well, in that case, you found adventures on her vagina. And out of anything, she turns around and tries to make a racial issue on that. So, liberal activist that I'm reading here, Amanda Quijera, traveled to Haiti on a mission to prove the portrayal of the black men as savages was not accurate. Quijera was brutally raped, and of course she blames a white man for the violence. The common sense, people, is something that I think is dying nowadays. So Amanda Quijera was on a humanitarian trip to Haiti when she was violently raped by a black man. The act was coincidental, devastating, as Quijera was actually in Haiti to dispel the myth that violence against women on the island was overstated by women's rights organizations. And this is what pisses me off the most. We have this like liberal activists, the feminists, the stuff that actually go against the women's rights, while the women's rights actually legitimately trying to help the women in a lot of cases. Oh boy, I'm not even gonna get to that. I'm probably gonna make a video separate for that. But she goes against the women's rights to prove that it's a stereotypes against a black man. Well, I'm pretty sure she changed her opinion. Probably didn't still. So, her hope was that she would eliminate misconceptions and push back against the common views imposed by the man. However, Quijera's trip took a turn for the worse when one of the men she had worked to protect cornered her on the rooftop and raped her numerous times. I pleaded him with honor to my commitment to Haiti, to him as a brother in the mutual struggle for an end to our oppression. Our oppression. Our. Like, they're both victims. Everybody gets oppressed. Everybody's a victim. And it's our job to point it all out. Right, my friends? But he didn't care. Well, he didn't care because he was getting some kuch. According to Quijera, she eventually stopped fighting. And after the shouting experience, she placed the blame on a very unexpected curse. Women are not the source of their oppression, which I agree. Women are not oppression for men. Women technically are not responsible for men raping them. I completely agree with that. And there are a lot of bad black men. There's a lot of good black men. There's a lot of good white men. There's a lot of good bad white men. But in this certain situation, I don't think white men is a problem. And I don't think there's any racial problem in general. So, women are not source of their oppression. No, not. Oppressive policies and then yet unaddressed white patriarchy, which still dominates the global stage, are, she explained. She also went to argue that it's up to United Nations to support people who are forced to bear the brunt of black male aggression. Poor black male aggressor. Quijera makes the outrageous claim that dependency on white people caused them to act out against them. She alludes that this was the reason for her attack. So, to my first of all experience is, it is not possible, okay, that the dependency on the white man causes the black man to act out against them. Absolutely not. That is not. Let's take any tourist actions. I'm gonna give example as in Egypt. And my best friend is Egyptian and he's Muslim, by the way. And one of those things is like, you know what? There's a lot of tourists going on. And if there's any violence against the tourists out there, the Egyptian authorities will find that person and they will persecute him and they will fuck him up. And the reason why is because you don't mess with my money. The amount of money tourists bring to that place is ridiculous. So there's no way an Egyptian could potentially have any kind of a risk of people getting hurt there and pretty much lowering the amount of tourists coming in. So to some extent, good portion of the Egyptian economy depends on people coming in there. And yet, at the same time, while they are depending on people coming in there, for a lot of businesses there, a lot of people there depend on the tourists coming in there, they don't act out against the people who depend on them. That is that is a ludicrous term, right? A child doesn't try to kill his parents because, on most cases, because he depends on them. Okay? When people are depending on something, they usually don't act out against it. I don't know. How does that even makes any sense? But now I want to talk a little bit about Haiti, where first of all, United States did mess the country a little bit up. The occupation in 1914 to 1933, the agricultural flip in 1970s to the point where a lot of farmers became jobless because they couldn't compete with the American ways of making farms via GMO, via scientific development. United States numerous times meddled with the presidency in that country. And when it comes to rape statistics in Haiti, women living in the slums, half of them got raped, according to the study by United Nations in 2008. So, and the rape statistics are appalling in that country. If you don't believe me, do a couple of research. I actually gonna provide you with a couple links down below in the description as well. So, with that said, the stereotypes exist, and they exist for for some sort of a reason. When there's a huge cases of people getting raped, and even according to law in Haiti, rape is not even considered to be criminal. And if the rapist marry the person that he raped, he can avoid the jail. The rape is not even considered to be really like that big of a deal in that country, according to that laws. So, normal rational person who has some IQ in their hand and some common sense would say, you know what? Well, maybe I shouldn't go there. But if I have to, I need to make a research. I need to know which man to hire, so that her guy doesn't act out against her. I need to know who to get, maybe multiple people. And that is the thing. Now, whose fault is that? Not a white man's, not a white patriarchy, not the racial prejudice, not the social economics. There's nobody's fault for her getting raped except the black man that raped her. I am not saying anything against the black race or anything else like that, but in that case, the black man that raped her, that specific individual, that's whose fault it is. Nobody else's. Not a societal, nothing else. I can go along as I say maybe it was a 66% partial reason why she got raped was by that man, 33% by his parents, because the parents didn't raise a proper individual who should not think that the rape is a good thing, that the rape is acceptable, that taking somebody's dignity and rights is acceptable. Absolutely not. But the most majority of the fault is his. Now, who is responsible for getting raped? Now, in this case, I would say most of the responsibility is hers. And it's appalling how a lot of people don't want to take any responsibility for their actions. Actions have reactions. Okay? She went on a humanitarian trip in not so good areas in Haiti to prove the point that the rape statistics are wrong, without making any proper research, without getting any sort of protection. As far as I know, the gun laws and regulations are very relaxed there. She could have carried the gun to protect herself. Maybe it wouldn't have helped, because she was technically backstabbed. But the responsibility still falls on her. The fault is the man who raped her. Responsibility is hers. As she was responsible which country she was going to, she was responsible for not having protection, not hiring the right person, not doing a proper research or background checks. Now, is that 100% her responsibility? I would not say so. Responsibility hers, I would say about 50%. The black man is also responsible. The parents that raised that man were responsible. Some of the bad actions of United States government, yeah, I agree. But the white man, white race, are certainly not responsible. There's nothing to do with the race of her being raped. And I just hate it how those liberals, they're trying to make racial incidents and racial issues out of nothing. Out of what seems to be their fault and not taking responsibility for their actions, they're trying to make something racial of that. And it's just appalling. In fact, liberals, now not libertarians, not the ones who believe in love, sharing love with each other, for the minimalization of governmental control. No, the liberal activists like these ones are the most racist people I ever met in my life. And this is one of the examples. How? There's a hidden power, white patriarchy that raped her. Bitch, it's your fucking fault for going there. For trying to prove the rape statistics are wrong. Okay? For going against the women's rights who actually tried to voice their opinion, saying a lot of women get raped there. It is a huge issue in that country. And what she's trying to do is she tries to go against the women's rights and say, you guys are wrong. I just went there on a peaceful thing. And I didn't get raped. Look at me. You guys are so wrong. Because individual cases mean more than statistics. And that's what pisses me off about this. What pisses me off a lot is that we live in a generation where people want to avoid personal responsibilities like a plague. They want to avoid taking anything in terms of with a grain of salt. People want to avoid having a self-awareness, looking at themselves and understanding when they messed up and where not. And that's a prime example of it. And it's really, really fucking sad.